The new version of PHOTOLAB has been released. It's version 5.0. There's been some nice updates to the Upoint control technology, and we're going to get a look at those today. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly. PHOTOLAB 5.0 has been released, and there's been some nice updates done to it. Today I want to look at the Upoint control technology. There's been some nice features added to it, and that's what I'm looking at today. They've also made some changes with the way PHOTOLAB 5 handles metadata in your photo library. If you like keywords, keyword management is easier than ever before, so that's a welcome addition. Here's another nice new feature. PHOTOLAB 5 now supports Fujifilm X-Trans files. It's still in the beta form, but I'll tell you, I understand it works really well. I don't have a Fuji camera, so I can't really show that to you. And there's been some changes to the way it is working with your files. It's faster and more efficient now. And to celebrate the launch of DXO PHOTOLAB 5 and also DXO Film Pack 6, those products are on sale for 30% off up till November 14th, as well as the Nick collection, and looks like Pure Raw is on sale right now, as well as Viewpoint 3. So you could take advantage of those sale prices. Just click on my affiliate link in the description below. If you do that, I appreciate it. I make a small commission, and that helps support my channel and helps keep me going. So I appreciate that, and I want to thank you for that in advance if you use my affiliate link. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this. I want to show you the new updates to the Upoint technology. Now, to get to the Upoints, what you need to do is come up here where it says Local Adjustments in the menu and click this. And that'll open up the interface for Upoint technology and also other local adjustments. Then what I like to do is right click with my mouse, and when you do that you get a menu up here. Now inside of this menu you have all different kind of local adjustments that you can make. Now you have your Upoints or your control points. You have something new called control line, and these both use that new technology that I want to show you. And of course you have a graduated filter, a eraser brush, and an automatic mask brush, and a regular brush tool, and then you can reset things and you can add a new mask here. But what we're going to look at first are control points. So let me go ahead and click control point, and when I do, you notice I have a control point here. Now let's say I want to darken this grass area down over here, and I'm going to use control points to do that. So I could come here and click and add a control point, and see this circle here. This is the area of influence that it will be affecting. So I can click this and make it larger or smaller. And then I could come and maybe add another control point, and maybe add another one over here. And maybe I'll make this a little bit larger just to overlap that one, and make this one just a little bit bigger. Make sure I got the whole corner there. Now, if I come here and click Show Masks, you can see the light area is the area that has been selected. Now, it's overreached into this area here, but here is where this new feature comes in handy, and it's called Mask Selectivity, and it will be found in this local adjustments group right here. See how it's selected? If it's not selected, like say if color was selected, you could come here and select the local adjustments group, and that mask selectivity will be found inside of here, Chroma and Luma. Now, of course, Chroma will be dealing with color, and Luma will be dealing with the luminosity of the image. So we have two adjustments here. So if we take this Chroma adjustment and move it to the right, we'll tighten up the Chroma selection here. You see how it's getting tighter? If I move it to the left, it broadens it out. It encompasses way more out in this area that I want. So I can take it and move it to the right somewhat and just grab that area you see right there. And then I can also work with luminosity. Try this one way. I'll decrease the luminosity range if I move it to the right, and I'll increase it if I move it to the left. So you can just tweak it and fine tune it to it's just grabbing the area that you want. And I'm thinking maybe right about there. Let me play with this one more time. Right there. Okay, and you also notice we have control point here. This is this control point here, and every time you add a new control point, this list will get built up, and I'll show you here in a minute. But now we can go ahead and make the adjustments. So what we can do at this point is right now our masks are showing. We can shut our masks off, and now we can use the adjustments right here. Now we have our light adjustments in here, you have your color adjustments here, and your detail adjustments here. So if I want to darken this down a bit, I can just take the exposure and drag this down a little bit and darken that up a little bit, okay? Or I could lighten it if I wanted to, but in my case, I want to darken it up just a little bit, and then we can go to color, and we could come here and, we can increase the saturation or decrease it a little bit. Maybe I'll just decrease that saturation a little wee bit, just so we don't have too much emphasis drawn to this side of the image here. Okay, and then you can come here where it says control point, and you can click this and you can see there's the before and there's the after, which is really nice. And then you also have the opacity here. If you felt that adjustment was too strong, you can take this opacity and you can start to pull it back. So you have a lot of control here, which is really nice. Now let's say I want to lighten up this area of the cornfield and this area right here. Now I could click new mask to give myself a new mask, or I could right click with my mouse and click the plus right here for a new mask, and make sure you have a control point selected, which I did. And then we could click here and let's add a control point. So there's a control point. Let's add another control point here. Maybe let's widen this one out a little bit, and let's add one over here and just widen it out a little bit. Okay, so I have that whole area selected pretty well right now. And let's click on our show mask so we can see the area selected, but it's picking more area up than I really want. So let's try out our new tools. Let's work with chroma first. I'm going to move this to the right. See how I can narrow that down or widen it out, but I want to narrow it down a good bit, maybe somewhere right around there. So I'm just thinking of this cornfield here. Right now, let's play with luminosity. We can tighten up the luminosity or we can broaden it out. And I think maybe right about there gets kind of the area that I want. Now let's go ahead and click off show mask so now we can see the image. And now let's go ahead and make an adjustment and see. So let me take the exposure and lighten this up. See how I can just lighten that up, and maybe I'll give it a little bit of extra contrast in there. And how about maybe a little bit of clear view just to show that through a little bit better, maybe just a little bit more of the exposure. So now we can take a look here. Here is the before, and here is the after. And I might give it a little bit of micro contrast as well, just to, sharpen it up a little bit. Okay, so here is the before, and here's the after. So just that easy, we can lighten up that whole area there. Now, if I feel these trees back here were being affected too much and I didn't want them to be affected, so let me shut this off one more time, before and after. Yeah, you can see they're lighting up a little bit. I could get a negative control point and just come here and throw a negative control point, and see that'll fix that up right there. And maybe over here I'll throw a negative control point. And now let's see, here's the before and here's the after. So now we're just definitely getting that feel. So don't forget, you still have your negative control points, and they still come in handy just in case we need to fine tune that selection just a wee bit. Here's a good tip for you. We have this list of control points, and I like to name these control points. You can double click them and you could go ahead and name them. Like I'm going to call this one cornfield, and the other one I think I'll call it right side grass. So just double click that and name them. That way you'll be able to go back and tweak them up if you need to. So that's a really good tip. And don't forget, you also have the opacity control that you can adjust for each one of these control points as well. The next thing I want to do is work on this sky, and I'm going to use that new control line feature. But first we need to create a new mask. So come down here and click on new mask, and that will create a new mask for us. And right now I have a negative control point. We need a positive control point. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. Then I'm going to right click and my menu comes up, and we're going to use this new control line. So just click right here. And now you see I have this crosshatch. So all you need to do is click and drag down. Now you see the circle that I'm dragging on here. This is the graduated area. I can make it wider or more narrower. And then you can also adjust the angle here. So make it as wide as you think you want it, and then release that, and then come up to this circle and click and drag it down into position. Now I may need to readjust this a little bit, so maybe somewhere right around there. So this is the graduated area right in here. Okay, and now you notice I have this eyedropper tool, but I'll show you how this works. But first off, let's come down here and click on show mask so we can see the area selected. But look how nicely it's selected our area. Now you can take this eyedropper tool and drag it around to select a different part of the image. Okay, so I could drag it over here and select this area. I could come here and click that and it'll select that. So you can move this around and pick different areas, and the eyedropper will use that to calculate how it's going to make the mask. And I think right there it looks really good. Now also, you also have the chroma and luminance adjustments that are associated with this. So we can go ahead and adjust these as well. And just, you know, fine tune that selection. I'll work with the luminance here, but see how I can get it really nice and defined at the edge there. But maybe something right like that is a perfect selection. Now we can click Show Masks again, and that'll shut the mask off. And now we can make our adjustment. And in case you're wondering, each one of these bars represents a different adjustment. So we have exposure, contrast, micro contrast, clear view, highlights, midtones, shadows, and we have blacks. And then we have the color group here, which has vibrancy, saturation, temperature, tint, and hue. And then we have detail, which has sharpness as well as blur. So some really cool stuff. So I could blur that sky out if I wanted to. But I think what I want to do is maybe just pull back on the highlights a little bit. Where are my highlights? Right here. So I'm going to pull down on the highlights. See, darken up the highlights just a wee little bit. And maybe just pull down the exposure just a tiny wee bit. And let's see. Here is the before. And here's after. So it just really nicely darkened that sky up just a tiny wee bit. I'll go ahead and double click control line and we'll call this sky. But those are the new features in the Upoint technology. So we have that new control line, which is really nice. We still have the grad filter, but the control line is nice because it'll grab edges of things really well. It's super powerful, and I know you'll find a lot of great uses for it. And then don't forget, we have this new mask selectivity, which works with both the control line and control points to really fine tune your selections with chroma and luminance. So really great new additions to PhotoLab 5. Well, there it is, everyone. DXO PHOTOLAB 5 is now out, as well as Film Pack 6. There's some introductory sales going on right now. Again, just click on my affiliate link in the description below this video. It'll take you to those sales. Today, I showed you some of the new updates to the Upoint Technology control line, as well as luminosity and chroma adjustments to fine-tune your selections. Hey, let me know in the description below this video what you think of these new features. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video today, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and if you're not yet a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe, click the bell notification icon. Then every time I upload a new tutorial, you'll be notified about it. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today in the Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly. I'll see you all right here next time, but until then, happy editing.